Test, test, test. Testing, testing. We've got 2 minutes until our athlete introductions. We'll show you who's all competing this morning, and then we will. You can hear. Awesome. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Joanne. We will be starting right away. All right, welcome to the Sask Winter Games. As we gather here today, I would like to acknowledge the Sask Winter Games is being held on Treaty 6 territory. Treaty 6 encompasses the lands of the Cree, Dakota, Nakota, Saulteaux, and the homeland of the Métis Nation. We acknowledge, reaffirm, and respect our relationships in the spirit of reconciliation. We are grateful for the traditional knowledge keepers and elders. Today, our athletes competing in our men's session are from Southwest, Braven Turner. Give a wave. From Southwest, Parker King. Representing Lakeland, Pacey Lavoie. From Southwest, Noah Kopf. Representing Rivers West, Grant Fillion. From Regina, Gregory Stupnikoff. From Regina, Alexander Follick. Representing Southeast, Reese Fowler. From Lakeland, Joel Sinclair. And from Regina, Evan Mithing. Awesome. All right, we're going to put a 10-minute clock, and then we'll start snatches. So you guys can head back to the warm-up platforms. 2-minute warning, athletes. 2 minutes until we begin our snatches. All right, our 10-minute clock has expired. And our first athlete up representing Southwest, Braven Turner, first attempt. That's a good opening lift for Braven Turner. All right, we're going to increase that bar to 17 kilos. This will be Braven Turner's automatic increase. As Braven Turner is following himself, we'll put 2 minutes on the clock. He's actually going to move up to 18 kilos. Thank you, loaders. 18 kilos on the bar. Second attempt for Turner, representing Southwest. King, get ready. And another good lift for Turner. All right, let's move that bar to 19 kilos. This will be Braven Turner's third and final snatch. Be followed by Parker King at a higher weight. Oh, and we need 20 kilos on the bar. So let's put on the big, let's put on the big whites. Let's put on the big marshmallows. And let Braven Turner roast some marshmallows today. Amazing. 20 kilos on the bar. Third attempt for Turner. And another good lift for Braven Turner. A 3 for 3 performance in the snatch. All right, loaders, we're going to 21 kilos. 21 will be the first, or 22 kilos actually. Parker King wants a little bit more weight. It'll be Parker King of Southwest, first attempt. Shall be followed by Pacey Lavoie at a higher weight. All right, King first attempt, 22 kilos. And that's a good opening lift for Parker King. All right, loaders. Automatic increase is 23 kilos for Parker King's second attempt. 23 is loaded on the bar for King. Second attempt, 2 minutes on the clock. And we are moving up. Parker King needs more weight. 24 kilos will now be the first attempt of Pacey Lavoie representing Lakeland. All right, 24 is loaded. First attempt for Pacey Lavoie. King next. That's a good opening lift for Pacey Lavoie representing Lakeland. All right, we're going to tighten up 24 kilos. Bring out Parker King, second attempt, representing Southwest. Lavoie next. Another good lift for King. All right, we're going to advance the bar to 25 kilos. This is the automatic progression for Parker King. So if you get a good lift and there's no one who is going to take that same weight, the athletes get 2 minutes on the clock as they are following themselves. If they are not following themselves, they get 1 minute. Each athlete also has one declaration they can change their weight and 2 additional changes. Oh, we need more weight. 26 kilos. This will now be for the second attempt of Pacey Lavoie of Lakeland. King next. Stupnikoff, get ready. Good lift for Lavoie. All right, we're tightening up 26 kilos. This will be the final attempt of Parker King representing Southwest. Stupnikoff to follow. That's a good lift for King. 3 for 3 in the snatches today. All right, loaders, 27 kilos. We have 2 athletes requesting this weight. First up, Gregory Stupnikoff of Regina. All right, 27 kilos on the bar for Stupnikoff. First attempt. Mything next. And that's a good lift for Stupnikoff. Let's tighten up 27 kilos and bring out Evan Mything of Regina. First attempt. Be followed by Stupnikoff at a higher weight. And majority decision. Good lift for Mything. All right, loaders, 28 kilos. Our next athlete will be Evan Mything. I believe he'll probably put in a change, so we're going to start his clock. There's the change, 28 kilos now for Pacey Lavoie. Third attempt, representing Lakeland. Stupnikoff next. And a good fight and a good lift for Pacey Lavoie. 3 for 3 for snatches today. All right, we're going to bring out 30 kilos and replace the big bar. So we've got a 20 kilo bar now. 20 kilos, 5 kilogram marshmallows is 30 kilos. This will be for the second attempt of Gregory Stupnikoff of Regina. Mything to follow. That's a good lift for Stupnikoff. White plates, white lights. We love to see it. 30 kilos remains on the bar. Second attempt for Evan Mything of Regina. And majority decision. Good lift for Evan Mything. All right, loaders, 31 kilos. Oh, actually 33 kilos. This will be for the third attempt of Gregory Stupnikoff, followed by Mything. Cop, get ready. And that's a good lift for Gregory Stupnikoff. All right, 33 remains on the bar. Up next, Evan Mithing of Regina. Third attempt. Cop next. And that is a no lift for Evan Mithing, but will be credited with 30 kilos from his second attempt. All right, 35 kilos on the bar. We've got our nice fancy collars, which both weigh 2.5 kilograms. All right, 35 kilos on the bar. First attempt for Noah Kopp of Southwest. Fillion next. And that is a good lift for Noah Kopp. We're going to keep 35 kilos on the bar. This will be for the first attempt of Grand Fillion of Rivers West. And a good lift for Grand Fillion. All right, we're going to move the bar to 36 kilos. This is the automatic increase for Fillion's second attempt. I believe we'll see a change. 40 kilos, loaders, 40 kilos. We need the 2.5s inside the collars. Perfect. 40 kilos on the bar for Noah Kopp of Southwest. Fillion next. And that is a good lift for Noah Kopp. We've got 40 kilos for Grand Fillion of Rivers West, second attempt. That's a good lift for Fillion. All right, we're going to move that bar to 41 kilos. This will be our last two athletes' automatic increase, so I can imagine they might go up in weight. So Fowler, get ready. $41 kilos for Noah Kopp, and he's moving up in weight. 42 kilos, loaders, 42. We need the little greens. This will be the first attempt of Reese Fowler of Southeast. Kopp will be next at a higher weight. Good lift for Reese Fowler. All right, we're going to move the bar to 43 kilos. 43 kilos will be called for Reese Fowler's second attempt. Be followed by Noah Kopp at the same weight. Bars loaded. Oh, and change of lifting order. 43 kilos. Third attempt now for Noah Kopp of Southwest. Fowler next. And that's unfortunately a no lift for Noah Kopp. No lift for pressing out of the elbows. All right, 44 kilos on the bar now for Reese Fowler, second attempt, representing Southeast. Fillion next at a higher weight. Oh, actually, we need more weight. 45 kilos. Big greens. $45 kilograms is 99 pounds. We have two athletes requesting this weight. First up, Reese Fowler of Southeast, second attempt, followed by Fillion. Sinclair, get ready. Good lift for Fowler at 45 kilos. All right, we're going to tighten up 45 kilos and bring out Grant Fillion for his third and final attempt. And a good lift for Grant Fillion. 3 for 3 in the snatches today. All right, we're going to go to 47 kilos. 47. And just as a note, we will have a 7-minute break between snatch and clean and jerks. A 7-minute break. We have 3 more athletes, 7 more lifts in the snatch portion of this session. All right, 47 kilos is loaded for Fowler, third attempt. Sinclair next. And that's a majority decision. Good lift for Fowler. So that's 3 for 3 in the snatches today. All right, 52 kilos is needed on the bar. This will be for the first attempt of Joel Sinclair of Lakeland. Excellent. Thank you, loaders. Bars loaded to 52. First attempt for Sinclair. Good opening lift for Sinclair. All right, we've got Joel Sinclair following himself. 53 kilos. 2 minutes on the clock. Clock has started for Joel Sinclair. Oh, and he needs more weight. It's not heavy enough. 54 kilos for Sinclair. Second attempt. Clock begins for Sinclair. 54 kilos, second attempt. Big hand to our loaders today. Our volunteers are doing an excellent job. Big hand to our loaders, everyone. They're moving the most weight today. They're getting the most steps and lifting the most. And that's majority decision. No lift for Sinclair for a press out. So we're going to tighten up 54 kilos. Give another shot at 54 kilos for Sinclair. Third attempt. So an athlete can choose to stay at this weight, or they can actually choose to move up. So we'll see if he will make any changes. We have 2 more athletes for the snatch portion of the session. Alexander Follick will follow at a higher weight. Then we'll have our 7-minute break. And no lift for Joel Sinclair, but he'll be credited with 52 kilos from his first attempt. All right, we are moving that bar to 87 kilos. This will be for the first attempt of Alexander Follick of Regina. That's 191 pounds. Our pit crew is doing a great job of loading that bar. All right, 87 kilos loaded for the first attempt of Alexander Follick of Regina. That's a good lift for Alexander Follick. All right, the automatic increase is 88 kilos. Alexander's last athlete for the snatches. 2 more lifts left in this portion of the session. 88 kilos loaded on the bar for Follick. Oh, and actually we need 91. 91 kilos for Alexander Follick. Second attempt. That is 200 pounds. Bar is loaded at 91 kilos. 2 minutes on the clock for Follick. Second attempt. No lift for Follick, but we'll tighten up 91 kilos and give him another shot at it. All right, 2 minutes on the clock for Alexander Follick. 91 kilos, third attempt. Going up in weight, 92 kilos. A minute 44 left on the clock for Follick. Third attempt at 92 kilos. And that's a good lift. He just needed a little bit more weight. And he's broken his own youth provincial record in the 71 kilo weight class. Previous record was 86 kilos. All right, we're going to put that 7-minute timer on, and we are going to give a little bit of a break before we start the clean and jerks. We are just over 2 minutes away from the clean and jerk portion of the session. So for the clean and jerk, athletes have to bring the barbell to their shoulders and then from their shoulders to an overhead position. I'd also like to take this moment to recognize our technical officials for this session. We have an in-house referee, Randy Hills. Big wave, Randy. Good job. Good job to Randy. We also have remote officials who are actually officiating from Regina and from Saskatoon. We have Claire Hopkin and Joanne Gasper. We have our marshals in the back. We have Lucas King and Jenna Villeneuve. And we have myself, your speaker, Kathy Lee Korchinski. And another big hand to our volunteers who are bar loading. They are doing the most work out of everyone today. So excellent job to our loaders. And athletes, we are just 80 seconds away from the first clean and jerk. All right, 17 kilos on the bar for Braven Turner, Southwest, first attempt. That's a good opening clean and jerk by Braven Turner. Good lift. 18 kilos on the bar for his automatic increase. Braven's going up to 22 kilos. So we're going to need the, what was it? Big whites and the little blue, or little greens. Marshmallow's back on the stick. This will be Braven Turner's second attempt to be followed by possibly falling himself, but Pacey Lavoie, get ready. Bars loaded to 22 kilos. Second attempt, Turner. And a good lift for Braven Turner at 22 kilos. We're going to move that bar to 23 kilos. Automatic increase for Braven Turner's third and final clean and jerk. .23 is loaded on the bar. 2 minutes on the clock for Turner. Third attempt. Parker King to follow. Oh, and we need more weight. It's not heavy enough for Braven Turner. Bars loaded, 25 kilos. Turner, third attempt. That's a good lift for Braven Turner. And he goes 6 for 6 for today. Excellent job. All right, loaders, 28 kilos on the bar. We have 2 athletes requesting this weight. First up, Parker King of Southwest. Up next, Lavoie. That's a good opening lift for Parker King. Let's tighten up 28 kilos and bring out Pacey Lavoie of Lakeland. First attempt. King next at a higher weight. Good lift for Pacey Lavoie at 28 kilos. All right, the automatic increase, 29 kilos. This will be for the second attempt of Parker King. And we're changing lifting order, 29 kilos for Pacey Lavoie of Lakeland. This is the automatic increase, so I imagine he will go up in weight. All right, we are going to change out that bar to the 20 kilo bar. Keep those nice white marshmallow plates. 30 kilos for Pacey Lavoie, second attempt, representing Lakeland. Parker King will be next at a higher weight. Lavoie, second attempt. King next. And that's 3 white lights for Pacey Lavoie. Good lift. All right, we're moving the bar to 31 kilos. And we'll bring back out Parker King of Southwest, second attempt. And that is majority decision. Good lift for Parker King. We're going to tighten up 31 kilos. This will be for the third and final attempt of Pacey Lavoie. King next. Stupnikov, get ready. We're going up to 32 kilos. 32 kilos for Pacey Lavoie. Clock resumes for Lavoie, third attempt. That's a good lift for Pacey Lavoie. 6 for 6 on the day as well. Excellent job. 32 kilos is needed on the bar for Parker King. Third attempt. And we need more weight. 33 kilos. This will bring out Gregory Stupnikoff of Regina. First attempt. Evan Mithing will be next at the same weight. That's a good lift for Stupnikoff. And the most gentle placement of the bar back to the platform. All right, 33 kilos now for Evan Mithing of Regina. First attempt. That's a good opening lift for Evan Mithing of Regina. Let's move that bar to 34 kilos. All right, 34 kilos is on the bar for Evan Mithing. Second attempt, 2 minutes on the clock. But I believe he will go up in weight. There it is, 35 kilos is needed, and we'll bring back out Parker King of Southwest. Third and final attempt. Excellent job. 35 kilos for King. Third attempt. Stupnikoff next. That's a good lift for Parker King. And he goes 6 for 6 as well. Excellent work. All right, loaders, 36 kilos is needed on the barbell for Gregory Stupnikoff. Second attempt, representing Regina. Mithing next at the same weight. That's a good lift for Gregory Stupnikoff. Let's tighten up 36 kilos, and we'll bring out Evan Mithing of Regina. Second attempt. Good lift for Evan Mithing at 36 kilos. 37 kilos is the automatic increase. We'll load that onto the bar. We'll start his 2-minute clock for Evan Mithing. But I believe we will add some weight. There it is. We need 40 kilos. 40 kilos for the third attempt of Gregory Stupnikov. All right, bar is loaded to 40 kilos. Third attempt for Stupnikov. Mything next at the same weight. Cop, get ready. That's a good lift for Stupnikov and a 6 for 6 performance on the day. Let's tighten up 40 kilos. This will be the third and final attempt for Evan Mything of Regina. Cop next at a higher weight. Good lift for Evan Mything of Regina. All right, we're going to move that bar up to 44 kilos. This will be the first attempt of Noah Kopp of Southwest, followed by Fowler at the same weight. Fillion, get ready. And that's majority decision. No lift for Noah Kopp. A press out of the elbows. We need to have those elbows nice and locked out overhead for that lift to count. All right, 44 kilos. We'll tighten that up and bring out Reese Fowler of Southeast. First attempt. Good lift for Reese Fowler. We're going to tighten up that 44 kilos and bring back out Noah Kopp of Southwest. Second attempt. And that's a good lift for Noah Kopp at 44 kilos. We need 45 kilos on the bar, so I'll bring out the big greens. This will be for the first attempt of Grant Fillion of Rivers West. Bar is loaded at 45 kilos for Grant Fillion of Rivers West. Kopp next. And that's the majority decision. Good lift for Grant Fillion. All right, 46 kilos is needed on the bar. This will be for the second attempt of Reese Fowler of Southeast. Oh, 46. We need the little whites. Bars loaded to 46 kilos. Fowler, second attempt. And we are moving athletes 46 kilos for Grant Fillion of Rivers West. And we need more weight. 47 kilos. These guys need a lot more weight. It's just not heavy enough. 47 kilos will now bring out Reese Fowler of Southeast. Second attempt. Good lift for Reese Fowler at 47 kilos. We need to move that bar to 48. Calling for this weight, Noah Kopp of Southwest. Third and final attempt. Be followed by Fowler at a higher weight. That's a good lift for Noah Cobb. All right, loaders, we need 49 kilos on the bar. This will be the third and final attempt for Reese Fowler of Southeast. Fillion next at a higher weight. And we need more weight, loaders. 50 kilos. That's 110 pounds. Bars loaded for Fowler, third attempt. And that's a good lift for Reese Fowler. 6 for 6 performance today. All right, loaders, 54 kilos is needed on the bar. This will be for the second attempt of Grant Fillion of Rivers West. Sinclair, get ready. That's a good lift for Grant Fillion. And that was a 20-pound jump from 45 kilos. That's a big jump. All right, 55 kilos is needed for the third and final attempt of Fillion. Oh, we're going to 60 kilos. 60 kilos. athlete remains. Grant Fillion, third and final attempt, will be followed by Joel Sinclair at a higher weight. 3 athletes are left in this session and 7 more lifts. All right, 60 kilos on the bar for the third attempt of Grant Fillion, Rivers West. So you might notice some of the beeps. So there is a 30-second beep for any changes. That's a good lift for Grant Fillion at 60 kilos, 132 pounds, and a 6-for-6 performance. All right, let's tighten up 60 kilos and add 2 more kilos. 62 kilos for Joel Sinclair of Lakeland. First attempt. Athletes are able to call their own weight, and it looks like the next 2 athletes will be following themselves. Joel's calling 62 for his first attempt. Clock has begun. Good opening lift for Joel Sinclair. Let's add another kilo, 63 kilos on the bar. 2 minutes on the clock for Joel Sinclair, second attempt. He needs more weight, 64 kilos for Joel Sinclair's second attempt. 2-minute clock has begun for Sinclair. Follick, get ready. We will be doing medal ceremony following the last lift for this session. So don't go too far after the last lift. That's majority decision. Good lift for Joel Sinclair. We're going to move that bar to 65 kilos. 2 athletes remaining, 4 more lifts. $66 kilos is needed, so we're going to add also the little whites. 66 kilos is loaded for the third and final attempt of Joel Sinclair of Lakeland. Alexander Follick of Regina next. That's a good lift for Joel Sinclair at 66 kilos. He goes 3 for 3 in the clean and jerks today. All right, we're going to need a couple more weights. 110 kilograms on the bar for the first attempt of Alexander Follick. Representing Regina, that is 242 pounds. We've got a slab of beef and a piece of cheese on either side of that barbell. All right, 110 kilos is loaded for Follick, first attempt. Oop. That's an easy opening lift for Alexander Follick. Good lift at 110. Slap a little mayo on there, 111 kilos. This is the automatic increase for Follick, second attempt. 2 minutes on the clock for Follick. Oh, we need 115 kilos. Bring out the big blues. Great job to our loaders. 115 kilos on the bar, 253 pounds. Second attempt for Alexander Follick of Regina. That's a good lift for Alexander Follick at 115 kilos, which means he breaks his youth provincial total record from previous 202 kilo total to 207 kilo total. He has broken his snatch record and total record, and we now need 120 kilos on the bar. His previous clean and jerk record is 116 kilos. So with this lift, it would be another record. All right, 120 kilos on the bar. 2 minutes on the clock for Follick. Third attempt, 264 pounds. One minute remaining for Follick. Don't forget to stay around for the medal ceremony. That's a good lift for Alexander Follick. And that is 3 provincial records. Youth, provincial, snatch, clean and jerk, and total record. 212 kilo total for today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are going to be ready with the medals very shortly. We'll get all the athletes from this previous session just behind the platform. All the athletes from this previous session. And we're going to award for each weight class. All right. Honored guests, athletes, coaches, officials, and all sporting fans, welcome to the 2026 Saskatchewan Winter Games medal presentation for weightlifting, with medals proudly sponsored by Sask Power. Please join me in welcoming our medal winners. We are pleased to have Chris Reed of Saskatchewan Weightlifting here to present the medals to our winners. We are going to be... All right, we are going to be awarding the 56 kilo weight category. In third place, representing Southwest with a 45 kilo total, Braven Turner. In second place, representing Lakeland with a 60 kilo total, Pacey Lavoie. And in first place, representing Southwest with a 61 kilo total, Parker King. Congratulations to our 56 kilo category medalists. Excellent work, gentlemen. All right, next up, we're going to be awarding the 60 kilogram medalists. And we actually have one. So, in first place with an 88 kilo total. Oh, wait. I lied. We have a 65 kilo, 65 kilo weight class with two medalists. In second place with a 73 kilo total, representing Regina, Gregory Stupnikov. And in first place with 105 kilo total, representing Rivers West, Grant Fillion. These are your medalists for the 65 kilo category. All right, and I missed a class. 60 kilo class. We have in first place with an 88 kilo total, representing Southwest, Noah Kopp. Congratulations to our 60 kilo category. All right, in the 71 kilo. In the 71 kilo category, in third place, representing Southeast with a 97 kilo total, Reese Fowler. And in second place, with a 118 kilo total, representing Lakeland, Joel Sinclair. And in first place, with a 212 kilo total, representing Regina, Alexander Follick. Congratulations to our men's 71 kilo class. Excellent work. And in our 79 kilo class, in first place with a 70 kilo total, representing Regina, Evan Mithing. Congratulations to our 79 kilo category. All right, we are going to be starting the next session at 2:30 for our female session, and athletes in that session, your weigh-ins start at 12:30 in approximately 14 minutes. So we'll see you back here for the weigh-ins at 14 minutes and the competition starting at 2:30.